Hi guys, and welcome back to the podcast. In this half of the episode, I'm here again with Alex Millard. She's fresh off a run at the World Cross Country Championships in Australia, where she represented Great Britain at a senior level. She's also the European Under-23 Bronze Cross Country medalist, the winner of the Bucks Cross Country Championships, New Balance sponsored athlete, and all-round amazing runner. In this half of the episode, we discuss her approach to training, how she motivates herself to train even when it's hard, her thoughts on racing distances and plans for the season ahead, and being sponsored by New Balance. I hope you enjoy. Hey guys, I'm your host Indira, and welcome back to Fitter, Faster and Happier. If you want to perform better as an athlete, but also be your happiest and most fulfilled self, then this is the place for you. On this podcast, I will be talking with a range of runners and experts to uncover the secrets to becoming your most successful and happy runner self. Here, hot and controversial topics will be discussed, stories, tips and knowledge shared, and the doors for much needed conversations opened. The podcast will have a special emphasis on athleting as a female, but much of the content will be relevant for all genders, and all genders are welcome. There's a lot to talk about, so let's get into it. Okay, so in terms of your approach to training, a lot of people these days, there's a lot of buzz and hype about all the data and science, carbon shoes, lactate, all of this stuff. Are you a slave to your watch? Are you out there with the lactate testing kits? What's your approach?
I'd say the majority of training, so like easy runs, I'll pretty much go off feel really. But obviously, gotta love a bit of data, whether that's during a session especially or something. Try not to get too hung up on splits or whatever, because you shouldn't, I guess. Especially with on grass and stuff, GPS, you never know what's going on there. But I like a bit of data. I like looking at heart rate, but I never know whether my watch is actually lying to me or, so take that with a pinch of salt. But I'm not too hung up on data, I'd say, but I find it interesting, obviously.
Yeah. Have you ever had a time where your watch has told you that you're basically dead or having a heart attack?
Yeah, probably a few times. There's been a few easy runs where my heart rate's been at 210, so
Just the norm then.
Yeah.
Oh, that's cool. And so also you're not on Strava. Bit controversial there. Have you got a reason for that?
There's no real reason. I've never had it. I never got it sort of, back in the day, and then I've just never really had an urge to get it. I feel like it's quite good for me, stay clear of scrolling through and stalking everyone. I feel like I'd waste a lot of time on that, which I mean, it's not necessarily a bad thing. It's interesting, but for me personally, I don't want to get too het up with what other people are doing.
Yeah, that sounds like a really good approach. Would you say that you're quite good as a runner at focusing on you as an individual and not worrying about what other people are doing? Because it is quite easy to get caught up in that whole cycle.
Yeah, it's very easy, and that's probably why I don't have Strava, a big reason for it. I try to focus on myself. I know what works for me, so just try and keep doing what I'm doing, really.
Yeah. Do you think power of 10's a good thing? Is that something you've used?
Yeah, love power of 10. I don't think it causes any harm. It's just your race results, really. So it's interesting to look back on and see what you were doing when you were an under 11.
Yeah. Come a long way since then.
Come a long way since competing in the 100 meters. Yeah.
Oh, so from sprinter to GB senior cross country girl.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
Okay. And for you, so we've talked and touched on some of your successes. What's been the hardest time for you mentally running wise?
I think to be fair, I found post Christmas and January quite hard mentally, because it was cold and dark and all the fun winter vibes, and also seeing everyone out in South Africa and elsewhere. I did find that quite hard, because I was also training sort of on my own at home. Well, sometimes on my own, sometimes with a group at home, and then coming back to Loughborough, it was just, do you know what? It's just the cold. I'm just a wimp with the cold. I was freezing. So it got to the point where I was just a bit fed up, really. Yeah. So probably recently then that was quite challenging mentally, just to get the motivation to go out for a run, etc. But probably in the past, I've avoided injury pretty well. But there was one that I had ages ago before uni, and that put me out for 3 months. So that was challenging,
Yeah.
just having to sort of switch to cross training. But
Wow.
cross training's great for fitness. So, I just had to get on the grind. And then I actually think I came back a better runner. So, yeah.
You sound like you've got a very positive attitude, the way you reflect back on it, you sound quite upbeat about the situation. Have you got any tips for how you got through those 3 months when motivation was low, perhaps those days when you felt like, oh, this injury's not going away?
I think just know that cross training can like really keep your fitness and even improve it. I really am not a fan of swimming, but stuck at it.
How did you do that? How did you go, right, you know what, I'm getting in that cold water and I'm going to swim?
Yeah. My mum actually helped because at the time I was still at home at school.
Yeah.
My mum would come with me, bless her. And yeah, just knowing that that's the way that I would keep my fitness basically. And I thought to myself, it's like a break from running, so it will make me more motivated when I come back. So I think that was the thing. It was like, it's fine. It's just a little break from running in the journey. We're gonna come back and love it even more, I guess.
That's a lovely mindset to have. Yeah, really, really nice. And going back to the kind of cold weather situation, then, I guess that's not something you can say, oh, I'll come back to running in more and enjoy it. How did you motivate yourself when it was cold to get out there and run?
I think I had a few more races to go, really. Knew that I wanted to do well at them. And knowing that I would be going on a training camp soonish. I mean, I didn't know I was going to Australia for very long before we actually went, but that definitely helped. The week leading up to Australia, I didn't care that I was cold. I was like, it's fine. Give it a couple of days, you'll be fine. So that helped.
Yeah. Were you expecting Australia, by the way, or was it a surprise?
No, I really was not expecting Australia. Basically, I only applied because you had to apply, show interest for the relay. I only applied a few days before selection because my coach was like, there might be a space on the team. You might want to apply. So I thought, okay, that would be cool. So I did, and then got the call. And yeah, it was pretty cool. So it was a very quick turnaround in terms of when I actually knew, well, when I actually knew I was being considered to being selected and then going. So yeah, that was a bit of a whirlwind week.
Yeah, it sounded like it.
Yeah.
Well, you also mentioned as well that you're excited for the track season. So are there any races in particular that you're looking forward to or distances?
So this summer, the main aim is probably Euro under 23s. I'll probably go for the 5K if I can, because I think I'll potentially do better in it. But I'll definitely be doing 15s as well, like throughout the season. Want to do a 3K as well, try and get a quick time for that as well. Just basically, yeah, that's the main race aim. That would be really cool to go there and see what I can do. But also just getting my times down, getting race experience abroad a bit, hopefully as well. Yeah, I'm excited to try the 5K more because I did my debut last year and I really enjoyed it. Yeah, that went pretty well. So yeah, excited to see what happens this summer.
Yeah, pretty well at the 5K means a sub 16-minute time, guys. Just to throw that one out there. So in terms of the 5K, actually, we'll touch on that a bit. It's interesting you say you're keen to do that a bit more. Some people, I think, they see the 12 and a half laps and they're out of there. Would you say that, what's it like going around the 5K? Is it as painful as people hype it up to be?
To be fair, I don't think that I can speak too much on this because I've only done one. But before I did mine, I watched the boys' race beforehand and I thought, what have I got myself in for here? People were actually coming up to me going, you do know what you're in for. And I was like, don't be saying that to me 10 minutes before my race, thank you. But I think because I was then dreading it and thinking, oh, this is going to be awful, then it actually turned out not to be as bad as I had in my mind. I just I just kept in my mind like you want to feel pretty chill for the first 3K and then you can see how you're feeling basically. And I think that really helped. Yeah, I think I could have pushed on a bit earlier in that race actually because I kind of came to the last 2 laps and found myself literally like flying in the last 2 laps. So yeah, but I was pretty happy with that as a first one. Yeah. That I didn't find that too painful, but I think if I run it to my full out extent, then I will have something else to say.
Well, I mean, it's good to know that there's more to come. That'll be really exciting to see. So, yeah, so you're saying that maybe you're leaning more towards the 5,000. Does that mean that you think that's something you'll enjoy more, or is the 1500 always going to have like a special place in your heart?
I think the 1500 is fun. It's fun and fast and more intense, I guess. But I think I will potentially enjoy the 5K more just because I think it's probably more me, to be honest, if this cross country season's anything to go off as well. So I think I'll enjoy racing the 5K and say a championship more. So I'm looking forward to that.
And you mentioned, since coming to uni, you've been doing a bit more of kind of the endurance side of things, or not so much just training on the track. But what is your kind of typical training week then?
So Monday's easy run. I'll sometimes double with gym as well. And then Tuesday, track session, or in winter, a Brock session. And then Wednesday is easy run and then gym, maybe a bike if I'm feeling cheeky.
Ooh, spicing it up.
Yeah, if I'm not too tired. Thursday, Bill sets us a mini tempo sometimes, but not much. And then Friday, always rest day. Saturday is usually a grass session, or in winter, Bradgate session, hills, and then Sunday, long run, obviously.
Oh yeah. It'd be a crime not to do the Sunday long run.
Yeah, exactly.
What do you listen to on your Sunday long run? Or are you a no music, no audio kind of runner?
I'm a no music because it's usually with a big group. So that's really nice. That's the great social aspect of running. That's the nice thing about Sunday long run. It's always like the big social one of the week. But if I'm ever easy running, like say a 30 minutes on my own or something, I'll stick my headphones in, definitely.
Yeah. Have you got a go-to song?
Oh, I wouldn't say specific song. I've been loving at the moment SZA's new album.
Okay.
I'm a bit obsessed with that. That's not really running specific, it's just in general.
That's cool. Okay. And you've recently signed with New Balance.
I have.
What does that mean for your running future?
Well, I guess it's just really exciting and motivating, really. Really grateful that they've had faith in me as an athlete, and hopefully it can pave the way a bit to competing at a really high level, and maybe it will give me sort of opportunities after uni, for example, or with going on training camps. Yeah, so to be fair, I don't really know at the moment, but it will be exciting to see what comes with that. But at the moment, it's just really cool to have support from a brand that I know that I like and get on with really well, like with their shoes and everything. So yeah, that's really exciting to be in with a brand that I like a lot.
Have you got a favourite pair of New Balance shoes then?
Oh, my favorite pair. I'd say my favorite pair would probably be the 1080s, just because it's a standard like everyday running shoe, and I like wear them to the gym, wear them for easy runs. But I also love they've got a new shoe, they're called the More V4s, and they're like proper cushioned, really nice like long run shoe. So maybe that one. Maybe that one. They're chunky.
Okay, and you mentioned they're like training camps. I know you're going to be going on one to an undisclosed location at some point, but I also know a lot of the guys who you train with or around went out to South Africa recently. You haven't gone on as many training camps. Is there a reason for that? Is it something that you would want to do more of in the future?
Yeah, to be fair, I've only been to Portugal last Easter for training camp, which was really fun. I was going to go to South Africa, but it just didn't work out because of exams. So yeah, I'll definitely go next year because I spent the whole of January moaning about how cold I was. But yeah, hopefully we'll resolve what I'm doing for Easter. But yeah, the options that I've got sound really exciting, any of them. So yeah, just excited to get away out of this cold weather, really. I'm sick of the cold. I don't do well in the cold.
So you're thriving in Australia then?
Yeah, I was loving it. I wanted to stay, but just couldn't. I was trying to, it was very hot, but I was saying to myself, don't complain because you've been complaining all January about the cold. So I was loving it. I was loving it.
If running ever gave you the opportunity to move abroad, would that be something you'd want to do?
I think that would be cool. It would obviously depend on where I am in life and whatever, but I'd definitely consider it if it was a good option for me.
Yeah.
Yeah, that'd be great.
Okay, so going back a little bit here, in terms of you choosing your exam over the training camp in South Africa, does that mean that academics are more important for you than running?
I wouldn't say that, no. It's definitely important to me. Like, I really want to do well in my degree, which is why I've also split my year.
That decision to split your year, is that something that you think's really helped you be able to achieve more running and academically?
Yeah, I think so, definitely. It was kind of the option was there, and I thought, why would I not take that? Because it's only going to help my running and academics. I would say I came to uni as a student athlete, but now I'd say I'm more an athlete student, if you know what I mean.
I like that. You've been Loughborough-sized.
Yes. Yeah, it definitely enables me to, say, for example, go to Australia and come back and not be too behind on work. Just alleviates pressure a bit. I'm not sure I could do a full final year and keep up this level of training and competing without being exhausted 24/7. So yeah, it's definitely helpful.
Yeah, no, I'm glad to hear that you've got that split year in place. And so what is a split year and what does that look like for people who maybe aren't so familiar with it?
So there's 120 credits in a year, I think. So it's literally 60/60 over the 2 years. And yeah, so basically this year I'm doing mostly modules, and then next year I'll only have one module plus my dissertation. So just takes a bit of pressure off everything, basically.
Do you know what your plans are moving forwards? Are you like, right, I'm going to be a businesswoman, or you happy to see where things go? Or is it running?
I'm happy to see where things go, but I'd like to see where things go with running. But like, if running doesn't work out, then we'll cross that bridge. But I do, but I do need to think about, what I'd do after uni. But I'm not sure. I'm not quite sure yet. But it reassures me that a lot of people are in the same boat, that they don't know what they're doing yet after uni. So I'm telling myself I've got another year to figure something out.
Yeah, for sure. I mean, there's loads of opportunities out there.
Yeah.
With your work ethic, you'll find something.
Oh, cheers, Indira. We hope so. We hope so.
So we're coming to the end of our time now. So some quick fire questions to wrap up.
Lovely.
If you could only do one type of session, and that includes everything, even the foam rolling, what would you do?
It would probably have to be a track session, and probably something that starts with longer reps and then cuts down to shorter reps, because I feel like that's quite applicable all year round and will help with race preparation and stuff as well.
Practical. Nice. Okay. And before a race, what is your go-to pre-race dinner or snack?
So dinner would have to be pasta with chicken and tomato sauce, something simple like that. Yeah.
Another chicken pasta. You are the third.
Lovely. Well, there we go. Proofs in the pudding there. It works. And then sort of 2 hours before a race, I always have a bagel with peanut butter and banana.
Classic.
Can't go wrong.
Okay. To finish with, something a bit different. Since you don't like the cold so much, what is your number one get through the winter survival tip?
Oh, gloves. For me, it's gloves. I have to double gloves sometimes because, I've got quite bad Raynaud's, which a lot of people have, but I actually ended up fainting because of it in January. When you come back inside and your hands thaw or whatever, I stupidly put my hands under a warm tap to try and warm them up, which is like the opposite of what you should do, because then it makes all the blood like rush to your hand. I don't really know. But anyway, the pain in my hands was so much that I fainted.
Oh my gosh, you poor thing.
Yeah. So gloves is definitely my holy grail in winter. I can't live without them.
Wow. Okay, well, for anyone with cold hands, do not stick them under the hot tap.
Don't do that. Yeah.
Well, it's been lovely having you on. Thank you so much. Been great hearing about your journey and what it's been like for you.
Oh, thank you. It's been great.
So that's it for today. Thanks for listening. I hope you enjoyed today's episode. If you did, be sure to rate, subscribe, and leave a review. This really helps to get the content out there. I'm new to this, guys, and I want to make this podcast the best possible for you. So go follow Fitter, Faster, Happier on Instagram. That's Fitter, Faster, Happier to leave your questions, comments, and feedback, and for updates and guest requests. All the best for the week ahead, guys. Run happy, live happy, be happy.